What is up, podcast people, podcast universe? We are back again, Ramehs Radio. This is a very special episode. This is not our regularly scheduled programming. This is the E3 show. So pretty much we're just going to talk about all the press conferences that happened at E3 and how we felt about them. But before we get into that, allow me to introduce my lovely co-host.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy UndeadEnigma back again for bonus episode of Ramehs Radio. And today, as my lovely co-host has already explained, we're going to be doing our super special E3 episode. But I don't know about you, brother, but I'm a little reluctant. E3 wasn't what I was expecting this year. I was really looking forward to this extra show. But I won't say too much. I'll keep the listeners intrigued.
Yeah, we're gonna get into how we into how we felt about this. Well, you'll understand it. But yeah, so pretty much how we're gonna attack this episode is we're going to get into the press conference. We're going to give our general feel about it. Then we're going to get into what stood out to us, games we liked, games we didn't like, games that were well, this is actually the first 5 minutes, so I'm not going to swear yet, but games that were bad. And then we're going to give it a score from F, we'll say from F to A. So, anything to say before we start the show, Enigma?
No, I think you covered all the key talking points, so I think that, with that being said, let's just, jump right into it. We're not gonna attack all of these shows, okay, sorry. For our listeners, we're not gonna attack all of these shows in the order that they were, in the order that the press conferences happened in, but rather, for the most part, the order is gonna be random, except for the last couple shows. We're saving the best for last to talk about, or at least what we thought were. And I'd also like to preface it by saying these are just our opinions, so don't get too mad. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I'm sure that our listeners will let us know their opinions in the comments below as well on the YouTube version over at youtube.com/it's Ramehs.
It's some long URL, but yeah, it's Ramehs.
Man, you gotta get that custom URL.
Yeah, I gotta get that custom URL. Yeah, we get into it. Don't worry, we getting there. But jumping into the first conference, we have Ubisoft. So Ubisoft, we know what Ubisoft is really about. Ubisoft has a lot of open world games. They have some, I guess you could say, some niche games. And then they have, well, mainly for shooters, Rainbow Six. So, Enigma, I'll let you get into... First, I'll let you give your general opinion on the show, and then I'll let you get into games that really stood out to you.
I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to go first on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
The thing about Ubisoft is they like to copy-paste their games to no tomorrow. That's just like a fact. That's something that Ubisoft has been doing. All the Far Cry games are the same. All the Assassin's Creed games. They've been adding up some new stuff here and there in Assassin's Creed especially, but for the most part, it's the same formula. And when you really stop and think about it, even comparing Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, you're doing the same thing. You're exploring towers, you're saving either cell phone towers or the perch things in Assassin's Creed. I can't remember what they're called at the moment. Unlocking the map, exploring, it's the same concept with a different story execution. It has a different skin on it.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even realize... Oh, sorry to interrupt you, but you know what's crazy? I didn't even realize that until Far Cry. I think it was 4. They're literally... I think those games share assets. They used to at one point share assets or something like that. They're pretty much the same exact games, just different stories.
It's the exact same formula. It's the exact same cycle.
Yeah.
And I say that to say that Ubisoft didn't even have the worst conference. If I had to say how I felt about Ubisoft's conference as a whole, it was a solid, alright conference. I don't want to give it a grade yet. We'll save that for the end. It was a solid okay conference. It set the precedent for what I was sort of expecting from E3. I wanted to see maybe a couple newer games. But I think it was a good showcase. It wasn't the worst show to start off things.
Yeah, remembering it now, Ubisoft actually was one of the first few press conferences. I think it was either Summer Games was first or Ubisoft, and then Revolver Digital. It was like
Summer Games was first, but Summer Games Fest is a thing that's like outside of E3.
Yeah.
Like it goes from before E3 starts and continues after it ends.
Okay, well then yeah, Ubisoft would be one of the first shows that went first. Things that really stood out to me, really, Riders Republic. That game was really interesting. When I first saw it, the first time I saw it, I was like, it was kind of cool, like a bunch of extreme sports. Still iffy. That's definitely not
iffy. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely not a day one cop for me. I'm probably thinking about getting that on sale. Valhalla DLC, didn't really play Valhalla. Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6 looked good, but the thing about Far Cry, I haven't played a Far Cry since Far Cry 3, so the stories still don't connect or overlap, right?
No, I don't think that they do. It might actually, because the dude that's in Far Cry 6, I don't play Far Cry like that, but the dude that's in Far Cry 6, Anton Castillo or whatever, he looks familiar. Like he looks like he's from a previous Far Cry, and this one may have an overarching story. I can't tell because I'm not a big Far Cry fan, but it looked all right. They didn't show us any gameplay. It was all just an in-engine CG cutscene of the villain, and then them telling us how important the villain was, and making a good villain is one of the key aspects to Far Cry's formula. Blah 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 blah. You know the traditional company speak.
Yeah, actually in the Microsoft, like later on in the you probably just don't remember, like in the Microsoft conference, they did show a little bit of gameplay. We did get to see a little bit of gameplay of Far Cry 6.
Yeah, but we're talking specifically about Ubisoft. That's why they're getting the flack.
Yeah, for the well, that's actually kind of crazy. Why did they not show gameplay for their conference, but they let Microsoft show gameplay of the game?
Microsoft probably cut them a check, and also they showed Far Cry 6 like 5 times at E3.
Yeah,
like it came up again in several other conferences. Battlefield the same way. Battlefield 2042 showed up in a bunch of, like a couple times.
Yeah, the game just getting slutted out. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's getting slutted out.
We'll talk about this at the end, but like it's because they didn't got no games to show.
Mario Rabbids. I didn't get to play the first one. I was interested in it though. I probably will try. Well, Nintendo.
Do you like strategy games?
What is that one game? Yeah, XCOM.
Like XCOM.
That's that one. I played XCOM before in Gears Tactics. I like those games, but I didn't get the chance to play Mario Rabbids. So
yeah, it's not something that you would buy a Switch for either. It's like if you already have a Switch, then I mean, I guess you could pick it up because it's good, but it's not something that it's not a console seller.
Yeah, I think Nintendo games don't really go on sale like that, but I mean, I'm gonna check for the first one, play the first one, see if it goes on sale, and then I'll probably get the second one. So second one I probably won't even be playing for a while from now. And there was an Avatar game
that did catch my interest. Ubisoft did unveil what was it called? Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, I believe. Yeah. I'm like 99% sure that's the name of it. And it's supposed to be a sequel or like a continuation of James Cameron's Avatar universe. Which is kind of late. We've been expecting a sequel to Avatar of some sort for Lord knows how long. And in the press conference, they kept talking about, this is the official next sequel to Avatar. Like, this is continuing the story, blah, 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 blah. James Cameron doesn't care. He's just down in the bottom of the ocean, freaking.
Yeah, isn't he filming some movie in Mariana's Trench or something like that?
I don't even think he's filming a movie. Isn't he just, like, doing marine research in Mariana's Trench? Maybe he is filming a movie. But he's been there for years. Anyways,
that's crazy.
That did look interesting.
I want an Avatar 2, like an actual film. I want the movie,
the film.
Bro.
They were supposed to make a couple sequels, but they just kept getting delayed. The other thing that Ubisoft showed, that was a little bit interesting, but at the same time, not enough to pique my interest fully, was their Rainbow Six presentation. They showed a game called Rainbow Six Extraction, which I believe it was a game mode at one point in Siege, or if it wasn't a game mode, it was a game mode in something. If it wasn't Siege, it was something else. But they're basically taking it and making it its own standalone game. It's a 1 to 3 player co-op experience. I don't know why they hate on even numbers. I don't know why they hate 4 player co-op. Should have just let it be 4.
3 players, bro. What the hell? That's so weird.
Yeah, instead of it being PvP, it's like PvE. So player versus environment. You're playing against AI and different enemies. You're fighting in waves, etc., etc. It looked interesting. It's pretty much just reusing Siege assets, but it's entirely reusing Siege assets. Even the progression of your characters unlock abilities that were in Siege. But I think it's a good reuse of assets, and it looks interesting.
I'm not gonna
also, they showed Just Dance, and I don't know why the fuck they're still making. Oh, are we past the 10-minute mark? Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I was literally just about to talk about that. We're not letting Ubisoft off the hook for that bullshit, bro. Just Dance 2022. Does anyone still... Well, no, I'm lying. A bunch of people do still play the Just Dance games. My sister actually, for the Switch, I have a Switch, and my sister was like, oh... can I buy Just Dance 20? I don't remember which one it was. It was like she was like, can I buy Just Dance for the Switch? I'm like, sure, whatever. Like, I don't care. It's Just Dance. I don't play that shit. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much a game for like little kids and shit like that.
Yeah, it's like families, I guess, pick it up occasionally. The aunties and uncles bust it out at the like gathering when everybody's sauced, but like. No one's really playing Just Dance like that. And they had like this whole artist that was like giving me Lil Nas X vibes, but not quite. And he was explaining how he did a special version of his song for Just Dance and everything. It was a whole scenario, and it wasn't even like a popular artist. Like I think a couple of years ago, like back 2015, 2016, they brought out Usher for Just Dance, and that's a lot more significant than like this random artist that I've never heard of before, this random pop singer.
Damn, saying the label paid for her to get on the Ubisoft press conference? That's crazy.
It was a dude.
Oh, paid for him. My bad.
Yeah, like I said, Lil Nas X vibes. Lil Nas X vibes. You take from that statement what you will.
Oh, okay. Well, there's nothing really interesting else besides Siege getting crossplay.
Oh yeah, they did announce that Siege was getting crossplay, but they're rolling it out weird too.
Yeah.
Ubisoft's just doing a whole bunch of weird stuff.
Ubisoft, aren't they like... Nah, let me stop, bro. All the Montreal people gonna slander me. Let me not even say nothing.
They is from Montreal still.
Let me not say nothing, bro.
Nah, you just keep that to myself.
If you ever been to Montreal, you know they do things differently, bro. They just do things differently. But you want to give this a grade? I'm ready to give it a grade.
I think that was everything that was interesting about the Ubisoft show. Rocksmith Plus has potential to be cool, but because they're making it a like subscription service, it's probably going to be god awful. So Ubisoft gets a solid B- C+ from me.
Yeah. Far Cry 6 looked decent. Well, the CG, if you were just watching purely the Ubisoft trailer. Mario Rabbids, cool, interests me, enticing. Avatar game, kind of cool. And then Riders Republic, decent. So, yeah, I'd have to give it like a C+ as well.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm being generous too.
Is a little taster for... Actually, no. This was really a good omen of what we were to expect from E3.
Going forward.
Because it was all downhill from here. Moving on to the PC show. We had... Well, no. Let me do the general synopsis first. The PC show was... In my opinion, it was better than Ubisoft. But there was a lot of filler. There's a lot of filler, a lot of stuff that I feel like the hardcore audience wouldn't care about gaming audience. When I say hardcore, the hardcore gaming audience wouldn't really care about some of this stuff.
I need to backtrack for a second
Yeah,
because you mentioned filler. This just reminded me, we forgot to mention there's a little thing on our show notes called Dumb Ubisoft Shows. That's a real thing. Ubisoft is licensing TV shows as well, so they spent like half an hour just showing us TV shows that are coming that just didn't look enticing. So that's like, there was a lot of filler in this E3. So I'm sorry to cut you off there while you were explaining the PC show, but that was something that just came back to mind that I just remembered.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I don't know. Well, we'll get into the idea of filler at the end of the show, because I do have something to say about that. I'm sure you have something to say about that too. But yeah, I don't know. Bringing TV shows to a game conference is probably not the best idea.
It's indicative that you probably don't have a lot to show.
But pivoting back to the PC show, there was a few good games. It was better than the Ubisoft conference. But yes, as I said, a lot of filler, a lot of stuff I feel like people won't care about or will most likely go on sale within the first week, if I'm just being honest, bro. I don't know why. I sound kind of harsh, but it's just like, bro, I spent time and cleared up time on the schedule to watch these press conferences, and they were kind of a letdown. So I don't know, I'm gonna be kind of harsh with them.
Yeah, I think you should be. Keep it a buck.
Yeah, that was my general synopsis. Enigma, do you have your synopsis ready for the PC show?
Yes, I do. Oh boy. So the PC gaming show was interesting. They showed us a lot of games. A lot of games that I didn't give a damn about, but still a lot of games. The first thing that the PC gaming show showed me that I actually thought was super interesting was this game called Naraka Blade Point. It's a Steam Battle Royale game, and it has this like Japan aesthetic. It kind of looks like Ghost of Tsushima a little bit. Like they're going for the same art style, but it's a battle royale game, so mans are busting each other in the head. I saw homies pulling out swords and whatnot. It was looking pretty cool, so I'm not gonna lie, it looked interesting. But I will say, my problem with a lot of the PC gaming show was that almost everything they showed us was in early access. I don't like Steam Early Access as a program, because there's no incentive for developers to have to finish their games. So a lot of games just go to early access to die, and then you pay for a game that never gets finished. And that's something that I'm concerned about, especially when it comes to the PC gaming show. They showed a couple other games that looked interesting. They showed Dying Light 2, which I know a lot of people are going to be excited for, and I was really surprised to see this at the PC show of all things, but it is what it is. They showed a game they showed the third part of the Orcs Must Die game franchise. Yeah. Yep. They showed the third coming out, and I know a lot of my friends are really into that. I was never really into tower defense games like that, but I know a lot of my friends are looking forward to that. And I was kind of interested in this game called Giga Bash, because it's a kaiju arena fighter, so you got big monsters and mechs punching each other in the face. It's like Pacific Rim the game. But arena fighters are never particularly good. I think you and I have already gone into extensive conversations about how much we hated games like J-Stars, and Jump Force.
The game is bad.
So
those games are bad, bro.
It's the same kind of like open area fighting, except it's more like isometric. It's more top down.
Yeah, Giga Bash didn't look too bad. I kind of like.
Yeah, it looked okay.
Yeah.
I think that was about everything that I saw at the PC gaming show that interested me. They showed a little like CG trailer for Hello Neighbor 2, which I was interested in that game a while back, when the first Hello Neighbor game came out, but I didn't play it, so I kind of lost my interest. And they showed a new Jurassic World game, Jurassic World Evolution 2, That looked cool as well, but also they didn't show any gameplay for like 99% of the things that we saw, so it was really hard to get excited and get interested. And then I kind of got bored when they started talking about $3,000 Asus monitors and a CSL DD wheelbase, direct driving wheelbase for steering attachment for racing sims. They just started throwing out terms
promoting they started promoting their hardware, bro, which is, I mean, cool, but like, bro, you don't care about that. That's not what this is for. You know what I'm saying? You could make a commercial for that. You could send that to people and get them to promote it, you know, on their channels, their YouTube channels, or their social media. Like, just, you know, that's not really for the show. But
it was not for E3 at all.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, what did you think about the PC show? Tell me, what caught your eye?
That Naraka game, bro, man. I think if that game has a squads feature, which it most likely does, because it's a BR, definitely gonna need to find like 3 other people to play that game with, because man, that game looks kind of fire. It really did look good, like that, like Japanese, you know, just fighting pull up, man. Like, I don't know, I love that. Chivalry 2, okay. I mean, Chivalry, we know what Chivalry is. Ramen, bro, what the, like, what?
Listen, I saw that trailer. They straight up looked at the screen with serious faces, and the game was called Raw Men. I was like, you guys must be kidding.
Oh my
You guys are
gosh.
ridiculous.
Look out for the sequel, Seamen. We're gonna be looking for
my
that,
god.
bro.
It's gonna be a ripoff of freaking what's that one Microsoft game? Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be their ripoff of Sea of Thieves. Seamen. I hate it here.
It's gonna be a bunch of booty bandits.
Crazy.
Bro, Dying Light 2 looked really good. I'm a big Dying Light fan. I'm a Dying Light supporter. I played Dying Light on the stream at twitch.tv/it's Ramehs. I really like that game. I believe I finished it on stream. Yeah, I did finish the game on stream. It's just a really good game, and this game has been in a weird spot for the past few years, because it's been said, oh, it's coming out, it's not coming out, it's coming out, they're still working on it. But now it's like, yeah, the game is finally coming out. We have a release date as well, so I am definitely excited for that. Solstice looks kind of cool. That game
Solstice did look kind of cool.
Yeah, Solstice looks kind of cool, and that game is coming. They didn't give an exact date that I remember. I just remember they said 2022. They did clearly say 2022, which is another thing. No, actually no. I'll save that. I keep saying I'll save it because I just keep thinking of things, but I'll save it for
No, get this one off your chest, because if we save too many things for the end, we're gonna forget.
Well, the thing is, 2022 looks like it's going to be a pretty good year for gaming, because a lot of really good games are dropping 2022. Because even going even further into the rest of the press conferences, there actually is a few decent games that are slated for 2022 if they don't get delayed again. So, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, a lot of games got delayed into 2022 in the first place, and that's just to say that, like, a lot of things were not ready. So I think that 2022 is going to be a much better year than the year that we've had so far for gaming, but that's just because a lot of the games that, if COVID never happened, were probably going to come out this year, probably had to get pushed back because now we're not working, like, they're not collaborating together in front of each other. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I just thought of this. Do you think that all the games that we're going to get in 2022 is kind of going to, I wouldn't say overwhelm, well, maybe yes, overwhelm, and kind of exhaust the gaming community? Because I feel like there's so many good games and you can't get every single game. And like, yeah, you can have games in your what's it called?
Backlog?
In like your backlog or your wish list on Steam and whatnot. But at a certain point, if there's so many titles dropping, you might just flat out forget about some of the really good games. So like, do you think that's going to happen?
No, and specifically why is because I think that gaming as a medium has always been like that. People will focus on what they're actually interested in, and if that is only like one or two things that they're really interested in, they're gonna pick like the one or two games that they really, really care about. And we've seen just like with the adaptation of increased game prices and stuff, that gamers do not care about things that they like to complain about as much as they love to complain about the things that they claim to care about. And what I mean by that is they love to whine about it, but they're still going to pay full price for a game when it comes out if they really want it. So I don't think that them releasing a lot of games in 2022 is going to create like choice paralysis. I think that people are just going to pick up games that they really want and they're going to have, everybody's going to have their own priority level. But I don't think that it'll be harmful for the market at all, because that's a pretty typical thing. And you have to also remember that we're still pretty new into the console's life cycle, like these new consoles life cycles, and a lot of these games are going to be like cross-platform or like still coming out for like we're talking about the PC show right now. So a lot of these games are going to be released either cross-platform for PS5 and PS4, or these games are coming out only on PS4 and Xbox One and PC, because they're all coming on PC.
That when you say
so like
now,
there's no games out right now. Like there's a handful of games out right now, but I don't think that like unloading a lot of software all at once is going to give people choice paralysis and screw them over when they don't really have that much to play right now.
That's true. I feel like people would be hungrier for what they really, really want.
I think you just have to be selective. You pick the things that you're really interested in, and you take your time.
Oh wait, hold on. So that was pretty much it for the PC show. I'll give my grade first. And then I'll
I was gonna ask you, what's your grade?
My grade, I would give the PC show a B- to a I'm giving it a B-. It's getting a B-.
That's a pretty safe grade. Do you want to explain your grade before I give mine? Or do you want me to just go in?
I'm gonna say B- because there were some really good showings, but there was a lot of filler in between, which I mean is fine. The filler is okay, but like at least something that, well, for me at least, it didn't really entice me. The filler wasn't enticing. It's not like, you know how there's like I'll use an example. It's not like how Sony had that last State of Play where they showed like Ghostwire Tokyo, where they showed all the PS5 games that they're slated to come out with, and there was some games in between the really big ones that were kind of like cool. I was like, okay, yeah, you know what, I might pick this up. Like, I'm thinking about it. In the PC show, it was a lot of games that just weren't interesting me like pretty much at all between the games that I really did like. So that's why I really give it a B-.
It's fair. I think that's a very fair and understandable rating for you to give it. If I had to rate the PC show, I would give them a flat C. Like you said, there was a lot of filler, a lot of kind of just random games here and there. But I also have to acknowledge that part of that is me with my dumb AAA title brain. Like the PC market is built off of indies. So I don't think it's bad for them to show a lot of smaller games that, like, they're not all of the games that they showed were necessarily indies, but they were much smaller than like a Battlefield or a Call of Duty or your Mario Rabbids, games like that. So I don't think it was necessarily bad from a PC gaming standpoint to put people on more games. And I think that like almost every game at the show had like a little icon at the end where you could go to like play a demo or whatever once they were done like revealing it, which was also pretty cool. But I think that just because I wasn't particularly interested in so many of them, I gave them a C, and they spent so much time talking about hardware that wasn't very interesting. Like, how dare you come out here and try to shill me this Asus monitor, this 32-inch monitor that's $3,000. She quite clearly like slipped in that it was a $3,000 monitor.
That's insane.
And they showed this big ass PSP that's the same size as a Switch. That's supposed to be like a portable gaming PC. That was kind of cool because obviously portable PC gaming sounds like a dream come true, but we all know that like the power is just not quite there yet. So we'll have to see what that's gonna turn out to be.
I forgot about that. I think there was actually a Chinese company that made something like that as well, but I think theirs was like don't actually, I'm not gonna talk about the specs because I don't exactly remember, but I know it was pretty beastie. I am kind of interested in like that PC gaming on the go because I'd like to see like how far they can like genuinely push like the handheld fidelity without it like overheating or being like crazy hot and stuff like that. But yeah, that was interesting. $3,000 for a monitor, bro. You could probably buy like a 65 70 inch 4K TV for that price.
Oh, niggas want me to spend a cheap vehicle's price on a monitor.
Yeah,
y'all are crazy.
Yeah, forget a TV. You could actually buy a car.
That's what I'm trying to say. It blows my freaking mind.
Yeah,
$3,000 on one, and it's only one piece of equipment. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah, not for
Needless
us.
to say, I'm giving them a C, but they did all right. They could have been better. It's the PC gaming show, so I don't have too high expectations.
Moving on to the Future Games show. Future Games.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I was recording what they were showing, and my brain turned off about 6 times throughout this presentation. So I missed a couple games here and there that weren't that interesting, but what the this was really where I realized that E3 had just fallen off for me.
Is it bad that I don't remember a good amount of these games? Like, I don't know if it's bad or not, but they
were all just like random games that they just showed really quickly. Like for the Future Game Show, I don't know why they brought up that Sonic Colors Ultimate is coming out, but I mean, cool. We know Sonic Colors Ultimate is coming out. They showed this game called Severed Steel, which looks really cool. It kind of plays like Super Hot. Have you played Super Hot?
Yeah, I played Super Hot. That game's fire.
So it kind of looks like Super Hot, where like while you're moving, everything moves really fast, but if you stop, everything slows down. But it has like a cyberpunk art style, and they made it like a big fact to mention that your character only has one arm, which I don't know how that's relevant to anything. Because they don't make it look like your character is handicapped. Your character very clearly just like throws his gun at mans with one arm and like fires with one arm without like taking any recoil, shooting a machine gun and stuff. So it doesn't matter that he has one arm.
Maybe they're gonna try and factor in some sort of game mechanic that like I don't know. I'll be trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't know, bro.
They showed this thing called Kiwi, which is like an indie game with 2 little kiwi birds who work at the post office, and you're basically like sorting mail, and there's a bunch of like obstacles coming up and getting in your way while you're trying to do it. And it's an indie game. It looks cute. It looks all right, but I'm not like particularly excited for it. They showed a bunch of World War II shooters. The one that caught my eye the most was this game called Enlisted, because they showed vehicles. They talked about the time to kill, which was very short. They showed a lot of like recoil in the guns and stuff, so Enlisted looked kind of interesting, but again, I got Battlefield and I got COD. I'm good. And then they showed this game called Happy Game, and that was probably the game that stood out to me the most, because Happy Game is one of those games that has a really cute smiley art style, but crazy, deranged, scary crap happens. Very similar to like Limbo, but whereas Limbo had that aesthetic that was also supposed to make it look creepy, Happy Game goes for that. These are cute looking things turned creepy, like bloody smiley face type things.
Like a bait and switch almost.
Yes. Like the enemies are like smiley faces who like their eyes go all dark and then like blood's coming out of their eyes and their faces, but it's like a big yellow smile, like happy face, like an emoji.
Sounds interesting. Sounds
and it looks like it's
interesting.
probably going to be like a puzzle game or something.
Okay, this show. Sonic Colors Ultimate. When's the last time you played a Sonic game? Real shit. When's the last time you played a Sonic game?
Listen. I haven't played a goddamn Sonic game since before they tried to make all these guys freaking tall. Before they tried to make everybody tall. In the Sonic Boom shit?
Yeah.
Before then. Well before then. My last Sonic game might have been Sonic 06, and if that's true, I
Sonic
hate my life.
06?
It might have been. I'm probably not, but it might have been.
Bro, that game is dog water.
I know.
That game is horrible.
They made an anthropomorphic hedgehog kiss a woman. You're telling me.
Oh my gosh.
You're telling me it was dog water.
Hey, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry you had to endure that. That's bad, bro. What the? Yo, last Sonic game I played, I think it was I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it was on the Game Boy. That was the last time I played a Sonic game, the Game Boy Advance.
Yo, Sonic Mania doesn't count. I technically played Sonic Mania, but that wasn't even made by Sonic Team. That don't count.
Oh yeah. Where do we even start, bruh? That unlisted game did look kind of cool. I like World War II shooters because they have like their own feel to them. Even though the thing is, they feel like they've been overdone previously, but now, I mean, everything is like kind of pushing towards modern day or like close future, like next 15, 20, 30 years. So I mean, having a World War II shooter that's like pretty robust, I mean, kind of feels like a fresh air, which is ironic. But yeah,
I can see why you feel that way.
Yeah.
Enlisted looked good. Like, it probably looked like the most interesting of the like first like shooter games that we saw, because they showed like 2 other World War II based shooters.
Yeah. Man, this show was really where else do I even go with this one, bro? Severed Steel. Yeah, that one was kind of cool. It was all right. I kind of blanked out. I blanked out through a lot of this show. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, my brain turned off. I was trying to sit there and watch it, and the crazy thing is, they really led off by introducing the hosts, were Laura Baker and what's the dude's name? Troy something from The Last of Us. The guy that plays Joel.
Troy Baker?
Yes, I thought it was Troy Baker. Then her name isn't Laura Baker.
Wait, hold on. No, hold on. Ain't Troy Baker that guy from High School Musical? Hold on.
Okay. Oh, now we actually have to look this up because. Okay, no, Troy Baker is the dude.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of what's his name from High School Musical, bro. Not important, but
Troy Bolton.
Troy Bolton. Yeah, Troy Bolton.
Her name is Laura Bailey. I'm pretty sure. I didn't even look this up yet, but I'm pretty sure it's Laura Bailey that I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's Laura Bailey and Troy Baker.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought Troy Baker was Troy Bolton, but
it is Laura Bailey. Yeah. Anyway, she's the one that plays Ellie, or not Ellie, Abby.
Yeah. Yeah, this show was kind of lackluster. The fact that I like blanked out, and I mean, I don't know. That's kind of indicative of how I feel about this show. Nothing that I really, really am checking for besides like Enlisted and Severed Steel. The Happy Game.
That's like maybe.
Yeah. Like Happy Game. That sounds like. Honestly, I don't remember seeing that game. I will check for it though, because it does sound kind of cool. I'm probably get it on sale. But I mean, in terms of a grade, man, for me to give this a grade, I'll give it a D. I don't even want to give it an F because there was some stuff that I did like. Yeah, they only catch that pass because there was some stuff that I did like. Enigma, what was your grade for this one?
That's crazy. You know what? Yeah, no, it's a D. It's a D for me too.
Yeah.
They didn't show anything remotely like in the realm of AAA that was like interesting for me. They didn't even show anything that really felt like it was AA.
Yeah, it don't even have to be AAA. It's just show me something that's like good. Something
they showed me Esports Boxing Club, which I mean, I guess looks like. Here's the thing. Cool, you're creating a competitor to UFC, but like not what we needed. We need a competitor to 2K, but whatever, to make 2K better, but whatever.
True.
They showed things here or there, but nothing particularly worth paying attention to, and a lot of the other games that were interesting got showed again in like Microsoft's show or anybody else's show.
Yeah.
So I think overall I'm gonna give them a D.
Definitely.
And I think just before we jump into our last two, like the shows that we liked the most, I briefly just want to mention that there were a couple shows that we didn't talk about that were severely underwhelming and even worse than D, like beyond F tier. One of which I'm giving beyond F tier to Take-Two Interactive, because I know that they didn't come out here with, these are the guys that own Rockstar. They own the people who make Grand Theft Auto. You guys came out here with all of your development studios and sat on a Zoom call for an hour and a half talking about diversity. You didn't show us any games. So they're getting below an F. They didn't even show up to the right test.
Why? See, this is the thing. Rockstar, like Take-Two is not a company that
they showed up to art class to write a math.
Yeah, like you're not a company that just needs like promotion. Like you're not a company that needs to keep your name in people's memory. It's like, yeah, we know you're Take-Two. You know, you make Grand Theft Auto, you make the 2K games, you make Gearbox games like Borderlands and all that stuff. Like
Gearbox got their own freaking presentation too, and it was also dog water. You guys had two chances.
Yeah, speaking of Gearbox was, bro. Why? Like, I just don't understand. Why come out and hop on a Zoom call? You know what this feels like? Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I should get into this.
Open the can of worms.
You know what this feels like? This feels like back. You remember back in 2020 when all of that, I don't even really want to say the name, but you know that situation that happened in Minnesota. Was it Minnesota or Minneapolis? You know that situation that happened in Minneapolis, and like a whole bunch of game studios were coming out, and they were talking about like BLM and XYZ.
Yeah. Okay.
It feels. Yeah, I'm not gonna go any deeper. I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna get us like, you know, but it feels like Take-Two saw all of that, and maybe they had something planned that they wanted to do, and they just waited for E3. Which, it's not the time for that, bro. Like, if you wanted to do a diversity Zoom call live stream, you could have done that outside of E3. If people wanted to watch, they could watch. But this is it's an event that's solely for games. Why show up on a Zoom call? Like we're here, like we're taking like our online classes.
Yeah, we're taking Diversity 101.
I don't.
That's what really had me. Take-Two came out here and decided to pull Diversity 101. We said that was some bullshit. I'm not putting up with that. And they weren't the only studio that came out and showed me nothing. Square Enix came out and showed me 45 minutes of Marvel content for their god-awful Avengers game that no one wants to play. It wasn't all for the Avengers game, but you know what I mean. They showed nothing but Marvel, almost nothing but Marvel content. We didn't get any Final Fantasy 14 or 16 news. They showed us Edgelord Final Fantasy Origins, where, what drugs are they giving Nomura? And who the hell keeps letting this motherfucker direct games? Nomura was the freaking character designer on the original Final Fantasy VII. He didn't direct that shit. He was just the character designer. So why the hell are we letting him direct? We're letting him direct bare games now. He directed Kingdom Hearts 3. He directed hella Final Fantasy spin-offs. He directed 15, I think. 7 remake. Why are we letting him do this?
it's that seniority, you know, like he probably been there for a while, so
that's why we got Final Fantasy. This guy's bald and wants to kill chaos. Like what?
Guy
doesn't even look like a Final Fantasy character. So they failed in my books too. We roasted Gearbox already because Gearbox. What the hell was that presentation?
What was that?
And what, Bandai Namco? You guys had a whole presentation. You guys licensed every anime game that ever comes out in the West, and you showed us one game, and I don't even remember what it was. It was so unmemorable.
I didn't even watch Bandai Namco's. I didn't watch it.
They showed one game, and it wasn't memorable. You didn't miss anything. So all of those studios, you guys get below an F. You guys showed up to the wrong test.
Bro, I just want to know, does Square Enix think anyone's actually going to play that Guardians of the Galaxy game when they came out with an atrocious Avengers game? It's like, we still remember that.
No, they think people are going to really buy it. That's the crazy part. People are genuinely going to buy it. That's what they think.
But we still remember that. Like, that's fresh in people's memories. Like, people have not forgotten about that.
Yo, keep in mind, too, take in that if they do the same thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy game that they did with the Avengers, every character is going to have their own battle pass, and that's how you unlock shit. That's what they did for Avengers. Every character has a battle pass.
Gaming is kind of in a weird space now, because now that we have the power of patches and like updates, it just gives developers like,
keep it a buck, it's the power of microtransactions so that they can make unlimited amounts of money.
No, it's that too, but it's just like, it feels like a lot of like game development is just like lazy or half-baked. It's not lazy, it's rushed is what it rushed,
is.
Yeah. Now, maybe I shouldn't say lazy. Yeah, maybe that's not the word I should use.
Now you can tell a company, yo, you have 2 years to develop this game, and if it's not done in 2 years, you're putting out what you have, and you can just update it later. Yeah. You can just patch it out. You can just drop a day one patch, but we're putting out what we have. You got 2 years. You better hit your deadline. So a lot more of that goes on. A lot less deadline flexibility, which is why we see a lot more games come out unfinished rather than get delayed. And then you get finessed with shit like Cyberpunk, and it gets delayed and comes out unfinished. How the hell does that happen? God only knows.
Yeah.
They should have called that Cyberflunk 2077.
Cyberflunk. Bro. All those conferences were dog water. Let's just say it. They were dog water. They were shit.
Yeah, we gonna keep it a buck. They was ass. They
all get Fs. Take-Two, you deserve to get put under the jail cell, bro. We're not even putting you in the jail cell. We putting you under the jail cell. For sure. That was horrible. Moving on to Nintendo, bro. Let's get to something that was kind of decent. Nintendo, we know what Nintendo is. Their bread and butter, their iconic series. They showed some, I wouldn't even call it new, because they're series that we've seen before, but new to Nintendo. What's new? You know, Switch games. Switch gets a bunch of ports over from various titles throughout the years. Enigma, go ahead and tell me what, you know, your favorite games, your worst games from the Nintendo press conference were.
Boy, if you already know that the favorite thing that I got to see was Shin Megami Tensei 5, because I am a weeb through and through. That shit had me litty. I was freaking Dougie and on doorsteps when I got to see more SMT 5, because I was like, they really working on it. But you know what the crazy thing is?
What?
Nintendo showed us so many good and interesting looking games. They showed us Kazuya coming to Smash Bros, the Tekken character. He looks amazing. He looks like he plays right out of Tekken, but he also fits at home in Smash. Looks great.
True.
They showed us more gameplay of that Guardians of the Galaxy game. They showed us that, but whatever. They showed us a new Super Monkey Ball. They even showed us a new 2D Metroid game, Metroid Dread. Which now we know that they're working on Prime 4 and Metroid Dread at the same time, which cool. Hopefully they're working on them with 2 separate teams so it's not cut back. But everything that I saw at this conference just screams to me, God damn, we need a Switch Pro. It's not strong enough it's not holding up to the level that these games are performing at. And SMT 5, I don't need to be seeing that game at 30 frames per second.
I was
chugging
just
super compressed music. They just released the Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD collection, and the port is atrocious. They would have been better off just emulating a PS2 copy rather than porting it. That's how bad it is, between the audio compression, the dipping frame rates, etc., etc. And I do not want that to happen to SMT5.
I was just about to say, Shin Megami Tensei 5, that game, if they had a Switch Pro that, well, the rumors we're hearing now is that they're going to make a 4K Switch. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just rumors. But if that is the case, that game, Shin Megami Tensei 5, would look amazing. I saw how they have that little open world aspect of the game where you're kind of like running through like deserts and wastelands, and bro, I think that would look so fire on like even 1080p or like 4K, bro. Like, I don't know.
I mean 1080p 60 FPS?
Yes, yeah, of course, 60 FPS. If it's 1080p, it has to be 60 FPS.
Well, I'm correcting you because you said 1080p 4K. Those are both resolutions. You can't have 1080p and 4K.
No, I meant like 1080p or 4K. My bad. Sorry.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure what part you were trying to say. No worries.
Yeah, but yeah, that game, I've never played Shin Megami Tensei, but it's actually, seeing that Switch presentation actually has me interested in it now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's demon Pokemon. It's demon summoner Pokemon.
It's
like it literally plays like Pokemon. You're literally like recruiting and fusing, and not exactly like Pokemon because there's no fusion in Pokemon, but you're recruiting demons, you fuse demons, you strengthen demons, you teach them new skills, shit like that. It's like a deeper version of Pokemon. So if you're into Pokemon and you find that Pokemon is too simple for you, you should give the SMT series a chance.
Is it
just like anyone in general?
Is it on like an older console? Like, is it on like what did the other Shin Megami Tenseis come out? I'm guessing like PlayStation probably.
Oh,
like
they're
PS2.
old. They're old. SMT, bro. Shin Megami Tensei is the the series that predates Persona. Persona is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh,
so
wow, I didn't even know that.
Persona 1 that came out in like 92 or something. Like Persona 1 is old. That came out on like the PS1. That game is Shin Megami Tensei Persona. There were like 3 SMT games that came out before Persona 1.
Wow.
Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei is like old. But 5, I don't think it follows a concurrent story, or like there is some overarching story there, but I don't think you have to play every game to know what's going on. And you can just always, you got the power of YouTube. You can sit down for 2.5 hours and watch someone explain it to you.
Yeah, I might have to see if I can get a special PlayStation 1 from Sony. I might see.
Yeah, you might have to get that PlayStation Classic, brother.
Yeah, that game looked really good. Games that stood out to me, yeah, Smash Bros. They got Kazuya coming. I think they kind of hinted at possibly other Tekken characters coming, but don't quote me on that, because they're going to have a showcase next week, actually next Saturday, June 26th, because the time of this that we're recording this, it is June 19th, so they're going to have another showcase next Saturday.
Your boy just turned 23. You know, it's my birthday.
Yo, shout out to Enigma, Big 2-3.
Super special birthday episode. Be lit.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I don't know if there's any other Tekken characters coming, but definitely gonna check for that because I do have Smash Bros. Life is Strange collection. I played Life is Strange, so I don't really need to get that again. Guardians of the Galaxy, Dogwater, we already established that.
I think they said that they're making a new one, right? Like a second Life is Strange or something?
No, it's like a, what would I even call it? It's a port of I want to say a DLC. It's been out though. Like the Life is Strange collection, it's the whole Life is Strange game, like all of one, and then there's a DLC. I forget what the DLC is called at the top of my head.
No, they did show a new Life is Strange though. It's at the Square Enix show. It's called Life is Strange True Colors.
Oh, okay. Well, didn't remember that. Sorry, didn't even remember that.
No, that's why I was like, I know they showed a new Life is Strange. But it wasn't at the Nintendo show. It was at Square Enix's show. And the reason why we don't remember that is because they spent 45 minutes talking about Marvel's Avengers.
Damn.
But anyways.
Yeah. Life is Strange. I mean, first one was good. But, yeah, I've already played that game. Worms Rumble. It's a real-time arena shooter. Interesting, but nothing I'm gonna shell out my money for super quickly to play. Super Monkey Ball Mania. When's the last time a Super Monkey Ball game came out? I don't remember. But
yeah, it's been forever. Your guess is as good as mine.
I want to say GameCube. GameCube was the last time. No, I think it was Wii.
They definitely had like a Super Monkey Ball game on Wii, and there was one on Wii U as well. But it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, I don't even know. But that game looked cool. It looked alright. Mario Party Superstars, that game did look really good. I like Mario Party. I haven't played every single Mario Party game, but I have played the one on GameCube and I played the one on, was it Wii? Those are really good. And now that I have a Switch, I probably will buy it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'll probably buy that.
They just released a Mario Party game before this, and it's either on Switch or I'm pretty sure it's on Switch. But the whole criticism is that the last Mario Party game that they released didn't have online. So this one has online. So it's basically like the same game, except the game that they should have made last time. Because it has online.
There's a Mario Party on... Wow, bro. See, that's what I'm talking about. There's so much stuff. It's hard to like keep up with everything. I didn't even know there was a Mario Party on Switch. I did not even know.
I'm like 99% sure it's on Switch, but it's the most recent Mario Party. And it's like local play only. There's no online, which everybody was like, why?
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. But you know, Nintendo, sometimes they take one step forward, two steps back. That's kind of how
they just added it into Superstars. So I mean, it is what it is. You know, tax it to the game.
Yeah, Metroid Dread. I mean, this is, I believe, didn't you say this was like it's separate from the Prime franchise, right? It's
Prime does its kind of own thing. Like Prime has its own thing going on, whereas like baseline Metroid Dread is like Metroid 5 basically, of like baseline Metroid, which is, I think Prime is almost always first person. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
But I think even like Prime Echoes was like that. Like it's the FPS shooter looking in the visor type thing. Whereas traditional Metroid is that 2D side-scrolling exploration type thing.
Yeah.
So that's like the main difference. But apparently, yeah, they're working on it with two different teams. So hopefully it comes out well. Dread looks cool.
Honestly, I like the old school Metroid games. I'll probably give it a chance, but yeah,
that's where we get all the term Metroidvania, when a game involves a lot of like side-scrolling backtracking, like Axiom Verge.
Yeah, I haven't played the OG Castlevania. I've seen it before, but I haven't played it. But I am a really big Metroid fan in terms of the older ones. I haven't played like any of the newer ones, but I know of them. So it looks interesting. DBZ Kakarot, that RPG game that came out a while ago, it's hitting the Switch now, and it's coming with a new Power Awakens set. Not sure exactly what that is because I didn't play.
Yeah, some kind of DLC.
Yeah, most likely some sort of DLC. Maybe some new characters or something. Not sure, but it is coming to the Switch. Will be here. Mario Golf Super Rush. That game looked really good. That looked really good as well. That is one. A lot of games. See, that's the thing. I wish Nintendo they put their games on sale. Because
I wish the games went down in price so I didn't have to spend a fucking arm and a leg every time I wanted to buy a Nintendo.
Yeah. But I still want it. Eventually I feel like I'll get it. I really do want to play it. It looks cool. Looks like a fun party game to play as well. You have people over, you just play with your friends or whoever's over there with you. Monster Hunter Stories 2, that game was okay. I kind of play Monster Hunter on and off, so I mean it's alright, but I didn't really want my appetite like that. WarioWare Get It Together. It was literally just a bunch of mini games in the Wario universe. So
yeah, but like WarioWare was a mini game collection. Like that's what WarioWare is.
Yeah, that's what that's what I'm saying. I'm just not really. I don't know. It's not really.
No, it's not for me.
Yeah, it's not for me. Yeah, not for me. Danganronpa. I hear a lot of people talk about this game, but I've never played it. I've heard it's I don't know. Go.
No. Go say what you were gonna say.
I was just gonna say I've heard it's a good series, but I've never gotten the chance to play it. I believe it was on DS.
I'm pretty sure you can get them all. You can get them all on Steam. They're all on everything now.
Oh, they're on everything. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you can buy the collection on like PlayStation or Steam or something. Like I know that they're on Steam. But Danganronpa is a like visual novel murder mystery. So like it's basically like you and a bunch of other people are trapped in a location and people keep getting knocked off and you're trying to figure out who done it. So like, you walk around, you look for clues, you have a certain amount of time to find whatever you can find, and then you get like everybody gets called into a room and then you cross-examine everybody, come like talk about the evidence that you found, you call people out, like if someone says something sus, you're like, nah, that's sus. I know that's not true because I found this piece of evidence there. And you basically try to point the finger at the right person and figure out who done it.
Yeah, I don't know. That game, heard it's good, but probably it's just not really for me. I don't know. I've never really like felt the need to play it. Fatal Frame though. Fatal Frame, this is kind of, I don't know. To some people, I feel like this would be a low-key game. I feel like some people have never really heard of this game before. But funny story, the reason I actually know about this game was I have a segment on my Twitch channel where I go back and play retro games, and Fatal Frame was actually one of the retro games that I went back and went to play, and I actually really do like this game. It's kind of like, how do I explain it? It's pretty much like a mystery game. It's a mystery / horror game where you have to use your camera to fight ghosts. Like you kind of have to capture the ghosts and save their spirits. It's kind of hard to explain. You just have to play it. The story is pretty good. I actually like that game, so I'll be checking for it. I'll see what it hits for. Apparently there's new outfits in the game as well. It's like they're pretty much doing an overhaul. I'm not sure if it's a remake yet or a remaster. We'll have to see. But yeah, I will be checking for that game for sure. In terms of a grade, man, Nintendo, I want to really.
Before you grade it, don't forget they showed us some Zelda stuff too. We got a little preview of Breath of the Wild.
Oh, how did I forget? They had a whole Zelda section.
Yeah, they had a whole Zelda section.
Oh my god!
They showed us a little Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay. Like, did they show gameplay?
They showed Breath of the Wild, the sequel. They showed it was like little snippets. Like it was like they'd show like a fighting sequence here, like a platforming sequence here. So it wasn't like anything crazy. It was a lot of CG, but like just gameplay sprinkled in between it. So,
they showed us a remake of Skyward Sword, which like cool. If you didn't get a chance to play Skyward Sword, then you're probably pretty ecstatic about that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, it is what it is, right?
They showed the Game & Watch. Did you see the Game & Watch?
I did see the Game & Watch.
That was it's a cool collector's item. I think.
Yeah, that's gonna be. People are gonna pay an exorbitant amount of money for that.
I think did the pre-order go up? I want to say the pre-order went up, but I know it's coming out in November. I know it's coming out for sure in November. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm probably gonna try and get one, not for resale. I'm definitely only paying retail for this, but this is a really cool collector's item. I've gotten what I have, the SNES Mini. So yeah, I'm into the Nintendo collector's items. I think they're really cool. Was there anything else that I was missing from the show? I don't know how I forgot that whole Zelda segment, bro. That was insane. I don't think there's anything else, so I'll give it a grade. Now. I'll say Nintendo, I give them a B plus, B/B plus, because there was a good amount of games that I was actually interested in. Shin Megami Tensei 5 genuinely has me checking for the previous Shin Megami Tensei games, because if they're anything like 5,
I would say if you have a 3DS or you have a special 3DS, play Shin Megami Tensei 4. They made 2 versions. There's like base 4 and then Apocalypse. I don't know if Apocalypse, I don't know if it's like you have to play one and then the other, or if Apocalypse is the definitive version. I don't remember, but 4 is really good. Really good. I played that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that out. I'll see if I can get if Nintendo can ship me a special one. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give them a B plus. I liked a good amount of these games. They kept me pretty interested. Oh, how did I forget? What is that one game called? Where is it? I'm trying to remember what the game is called, but it was Strange Brigade. That game looked really cool. It's like a 4-player co-op game. It's like a shooter / puzzle game. That game actually looked pretty interesting. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that did catch my eye for a quick minute there. I kind of forgot about that too.
Yeah,
that did catch my eye.
So and that game actually, I think it dropped the day they put out the direct. So yeah, next time I have the Switch, I'm gonna be buying that game for sure. But yeah, they definitely get a B plus for me. They showed some really good games. There wasn't too many lulls in between the conference where it was like, okay, this is boring. These are trash games. But good. Definitely appreciated it. Enigma, what do you give Nintendo?
I'm gonna give Nintendo an A minus because they were quite clearly the only conference that I really cared about that also had a significant amount of first party exclusives to show. Microsoft's conference, which we're gonna come up and talk about next in a little bit, was also really good. But the reason why I give the edge to Nintendo and why I think they deserve an A rating of some sort, and I think that they personally had the best conference, was because they had the most well put together conference that also included the most amount of first party support as well as third party support. Nintendo has always suffered from having great first party exclusives but a severe lack of third party games, and they've really stepped that up with the Switch. They've really put a lot more effort into third party games and getting third party games ported over to the Switch. So now all we really need is the stronger hardware that they keep neglecting and they don't want to put out. Once we get the stronger hardware, then more developers will develop their games for Nintendo platforms as well, and then we'll just be golden.
Yeah, Nintendo really needs to take that next step in terms of hardware. I understand that their games are more oriented towards the family audience, more little kids and families, but I feel like they're really shooting themselves in the foot because they have some really good games on their platform, but the third party just isn't there. So that's why a lot of people kind of not really stay away, but it takes them a little bit to really realize how important of a system that the Switch and the Nintendo ecosystem is. So yeah, I feel like once they take that step in terms of hardware, we're gonna see a different Nintendo, totally different Nintendo. But yeah, I did appreciate this one for sure. Moving on to the final press conference, we had Microsoft, and Microsoft, they really came with the heaters, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, Microsoft kind of the same thing as Nintendo, but not really to the same extent with the exclusives. Well, that's the thing. Some of these games we believe are exclusive. Some said they're console launch exclusive, so we'll really have to just wait and see. But a lot of the games they showed, I really did enjoy. getting into what they actually had there, they showed Starfield, but the way that they showed it was kind of weird. It was
weird.
Like, the game, it's kind of like, I want to say, it was in-game. It was in-engine. But it could have been a cutscene. It could have been gameplay. We weren't really sure because of the nature of what they showed.
Okay. It's in-engine. So it, like, the stuff that was, like, quote-unquote gameplay, it's like the Battlefield 2042 trailer. That was in-engine gameplay, where the dude jumped out of the jet and shot it. So it's not going to look like that when you're playing it. That's what it looks like in-engine, but that is technically gameplay. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It's running in-engine. That's what that is. That's what Starfield was. It was in-engine video bullshit.
Yeah, it was really confusing. I still don't really know what this game is about. I know it's about space exploration because that's kind of what Todd Howard was alluding to, and that's kind of the feel that we got from the game. I've heard some people say it's supposed to be Skyrim in space, which, if that's the case, this game sounds like it'll be good if Bethesda can fix their common problem of releasing games with a million bugs. If this game comes out properly polished, which, I mean, I don't know how much you can polish an open world game, but we'll see. This game is gonna be you know what, I don't even want to die on that hill yet. I'm not gonna die on that hill yet. The game is supposed to come out October of 2022, I believe. So I'm pretty sure by that time we'll see gameplay. We'll get some more story hints as to what exactly is going on. But interesting. Can't say it's a buy yet. Can't say passing on.
Yeah, I can't say it's a copper drop yet off of what I've seen. But also, like, yo, Xbox, you cut Bethesda a check. Now tell these mans that they have to use the money that you gave them to develop a new engine, so they stop making games on the exact same engine they've been making games on for the past 10 years, and then maybe we'll actually have some competent games come out that aren't broken as hell. If Starfield comes out and it's not broken, it's gonna be lit.
Yeah, I feel like the game is gonna be really good if Bethesda can kind of try to fine tune, if they can get an engine, if they can develop an engine that works like inside out and is minimal on glitches and bugs, this game is gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be good. But as I said, we'll just have to wait and see. Stalker 2, apparently the original Stalker game is kind of like a survival shooter. I'm not exactly sure, but what they showed same thing, mix of, I can't really even say same thing. They showed it was a mix of CG and gameplay. You could kind of tell it was gameplay. So that was kind of what they showed. So the game did look kind of interesting. It takes place in Russia. I'm not sure if the first Stalker takes place in Russia, but this one does. And there's kind of something called, I believe they call them anomalies, where like it's like kind of like this how do I explain this? Kind of like, I want to say like not a force field, but like kind of like this orb or like these rips in time where things like blow up. You see like this, there's like this radiated monster that there's an anomaly like right over the water, and it sucks the monster up, and like they literally just like blow up. So interesting. The story seems like it'll be interesting. And another thing that I will mention, a lot of these games are going to be on Game Pass day one. So I mean, I won't even have to say will I get it, will I not. That's probably going to be a game I'm going to try, because it's going to be on Game Pass.
It's going to be there. Yeah, it's going to be available.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. After
it's like $180 at the end of the year for Game Pass, something like that.
No.
Rather than
it's
it's $15 a month. It's like $180 at the end of the year.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, last time I remembered it was 10. Yeah, they keep doing a bunch of bumps to it. But yeah, for the price of like 3 games, 2-3 games, you're getting a lot of stuff. You're getting a lot of stuff. Sea of Thieves getting an expansion. I haven't really played that game. I heard the game is like jumping now though. They showed Battlefield gameplay.
Yeah, they added a lot of content, so like whatever.
Yeah, actually I should tell. It's gonna be Pirates of the Caribbean. They're having like an expansion. Jack Sparrow's gonna be in it. Davy Jones is gonna be in it. Interesting for the Sea of Thieves players. I think they're gonna like this one. I think they're really gonna like it.
No hardcore gamer is still playing Sea of Thieves. Yeah. It's only casuals. Whatever.
Yeah. Yakuza is coming to Game Pass. Every Yakuza game. So what was it? Yakuza 0.
Already, like most of them are pretty like half of the franchise is already on Game Pass, so they're just adding the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yakuza is a good and interesting franchise. I say it's good, but I don't like the Yakuza games because they're just just not really for me. They don't really interest me. But if you want like a little bit more of like a wacky game that's grounded in a little bit more realism, like the settings and stuff are a little bit more realistic, Yakuza is totally up your alley. Like, I think that more people should give it a try, and I think that all of the Yakuza games going to Game Pass is going to do nothing but good things for the franchise. So hopefully we're going to see more stuff do that. Like, the reason why we don't have Persona 5 on Xbox is because Atlas is almost entirely convinced that it's not going to sell. So I mean, just drop Persona 5 Royal on Game Pass and people will play it.
Really? I thought it was okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, I played Yakuza. I want to say it was 0. I played Yakuza 0. I played Yakuza 0. I liked that game. It was cool. I didn't get to finish it because there's just so much other stuff to play right now, but I feel like I'll eventually get back to it. They did show Battlefield 2042 gameplay. I believe they showed it somewhere else as well. I'm not exactly sure, but it was Battlefield. The Battlefield fans are gonna really like this one. You can mod your weapons now. There was like a section where they were in the elevator and they were like attaching, like, I don't remember exactly what the attachments were, but they were putting attachments on, they were taking them off, so you can mod your weapons like in game now, which is pretty interesting. Same vehicles, the different classes I'm pretty sure are going to be in there. So Battlefield, if you rock with Battlefield and you've been waiting for a Battlefield game, this is it for you. 12 minutes, that is a story-driven game. Seems to be a time loop. The characters are stuck in a time loop, and we don't really know too much because it is a story game. They can't really blow their whole load before people buy the game, but it is coming August 2021. So if you're interested in that is coming literally within the next 2 months. You got Psychonauts 2. I haven't played Psychonauts 1, but Psychonauts 2 did look really interesting and it's going to be on Game Pass. I will be playing that. I will play that. That looks so... I don't know, like... I feel like games have gotten so serious and we've really lost, games like those platformers, like those just wacky platformers that are just fun. You just come home and play them and just have fun. So I am really interested in Psychonauts 2. Gonna be on Game Pass. I'm gonna get that. Doom Eternal upgrade. So if you have Xbox Series X, I believe they said they're going to have that game go up to 120 FPS.
Microsoft has their FPS boosting software.
So I mean, honestly, I've never played a game at 120 FPS, so I can't really tell you what it feels like, but I have heard multiple people say that 120 range is it feels so smooth. So
if your monitor has a fast enough refresh rate, but if you're playing on a monitor with a 60 hertz refresh rate and you're playing at 120 frames, your monitor for every time that your game cycles through 120 frames, your monitor is only through half a cycle.
Yeah, so you wouldn't see it, right? You wouldn't see it.
Yeah,
you're gonna need I'm pretty sure a gaming monitor or something like that to play this at the 120 FPS.
144 hertz.
Yeah. So, but if you have that, you'll probably be interested in that. Fallout 76. I don't know who's still playing this game, but if people are, they're getting 2 expansions. Steel Rain, which is coming, I believe, within this year, and The Pit is coming next year. Steel Rain has to do with the Brotherhood. If you're into the Fallout universe, you know who the Brotherhood is. So they're gonna have a expansion pass, not expansion pass. They're gonna have an expansion built around
the
Brotherhood.
76? You play Fallout 76?
I play Fallout. I'm into Fallout. I love Fallout. I played like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4.
But you play Fallout 76?
I did play a little bit of Fallout 76 before. I had a squad. We were running it, but I don't know. I just fell out of the game. It wasn't really like catching me. There was a lot of bugs when I was playing it. A lot of bugs, a lot of stuff that needed to be fixed. And that was a while after the game came out. So I don't really know what it's like now because I haven't hopped on in a while. But
I'm being petty. I brought that up to say that the game's ass, and I don't know why we're talking about these expansions. I'm being petty. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Yeah.
You went on some long, detailed explanation about, I play Fallout. I was just being petty with it. Like, fuck the Fallout 76 expansions. I don't care about those.
Yeah, Fallout 76 kind of ass.
In terms of things that actually looked interesting, because Microsoft showed a lot of games, and I'm not trying to go through every single item on this list. The things that actually looked interesting, other than what you showed, that I think were worth mentioning, Halo Infinite multiplayer, that's going to be free to play. I think that's a big thing, that Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free to play. Because they said that previously, but everybody thought that, they're going to do like a BR mode or something, and that's why it's going to be free to play, but they showed gameplay. And we know that Halo Infinite is going to be a traditional FPS. So we know that we're getting free-to-play FPS gameplay. So that's super big. I think that was probably the biggest announcement that they made at the show.
Can't wait to play that.
Like you said, they also showed Far Cry 6 gameplay, so we actually got to see gameplay from that. That was cool. I wanted some gameplay because at the Ubisoft event, for whatever reason, they only showed CGI, and I want you to get more into that if you have something to say about the Far Cry 6 gameplay.
Well, it
looks like more Far Cry.
Yeah,
you're gonna blow up shit and craft weapons. That's what I felt.
Yeah, it's more Far Cry, really and truly. The only thing that really kind of looked kind of cool, they have this backpack now where it kind of shoots like rockets out of it. So
that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. So I mean, but I'm not spending what $70 Canadian dollars on that just to shoot rockets out of a fucking backpack. I'm good. Love, enjoy. But
Outer Worlds 2 looked cool. The first Outer Worlds game, did you get a chance to play it?
Yeah, I did play the first Outer Worlds. That game was
banging.
Good. That game is really, really good. It really slept on game. I feel like because I don't know, maybe because it was on Xbox, maybe because people just weren't really checking for it. I don't know. I believe it's made by, who is it, Obsidian? I want to say
it's Outer Worlds is multi-platform.
Is it? I thought it was only on Xbox.
No,
Xbox and PC. No.
Bam! I literally had an Amazon, like, remember the page that I sent you? We're talking about personal things, but the deals, the video game deals.
Oh yeah.
They literally shared a deal a couple hours ago that the Outer Worlds for PlayStation is $20.
Oh, that's crazy! I didn't know it was on PlayStation. Well, yeah, I don't know why that game was so slept on, but yeah, it is a really good game.
I wouldn't even say it was slept on. It was just like, if you knew, you knew.
It's made by the same people that made. It's the team that made, I want to say, New Vegas. They did
the team is called Obsidian. I don't know if they made New Vegas.
They did make a Fallout game. They made a Fallout game before, so there's that. They have that, and it's a way more polished open world game. It's way more polished than like any Fallout game that's ever been out. So yeah, if you've never played it, I'd suggest you play it if you like those type of games.
Yeah, so Outer Worlds 2 is gonna be solid. We're almost guaranteed on that. And then Forza 5. Forza 5 looks impeccable. I mean, Forza is Microsoft's like typical racing simulator. Yeah. So like Microsoft's been working on Forza for Lord knows how long. So we expect nothing but good visuals from that. But this trailer that we got to see was truly mind-blowing. It looked beautiful.
They showed this segment, because that segment was a little long. I can't believe they spent that long on Forza, but I mean, I kind of understand now because that game just looks incredible. They showed a segment. It's in Mexico now, so they had a segment where you were literally on like a hill, and you could see like these iconic Mexican landmarks. It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, the power of the new Xbox consoles was really being shown right there. You could see it with the textures. You could see it with everything. It was a really good looking game. Arguably, I would say the best looking game in terms of visuals that we've seen at E3. Period. I would argue that. I really would. Yeah. Among Us, 15-player lobbies.
15 players, but like, who's still playing Among Us? Disguised Toast just said he's not playing it anymore, so
yeah,
I guess that game's kind of dying out. But cool if you were interested.
Yeah.
And that was like all of the big things that I was really interested in for the Microsoft conference. Other than they showed a new IP at the end called Redfall. I don't think that this was the first time that we heard of Redfall, but they only showed a CG trailer, so it wasn't anything particularly crazy to write home about. It's a vampire game, so that's always somewhat interesting. So it's on my radar somewhat.
That game looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks kind of cool. Yeah, I'm the verdict is still out. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad, but I am interested. It is a new IP, which is, a breath of fresh air for sure. I will be checking for it. I'll say that. And they showed Ayuden Chronicles. They showed Ayuden Chronicles, 100 Heroes, and Chronicle Rising. So those are coming out. Those aren't coming out until like 2022 and 2023 respectively. So I believe those are JRPGs, I want to say. So I'll be checking for those though, because I believe they are going to be on Game Pass as well. So a lot of stuff on Game Pass. A lot of stuff on Game Pass.
So what would you rate the Microsoft show? What would you give them?
What would I give them? In terms of presentation, because I have to break it down in two terms. I actually feel like Microsoft deserves two different grades. In terms of presentation, they get an A+. They get A+, because there wasn't really any moments that I felt bored like at all. They had my attention the whole time. The show was like an hour and a half long, and they had my attention the whole time. It was a lot less talking than previous Microsoft conferences. So I will give it an A+ in terms of that. In terms of the games, I will give it, I'll say an A-, B+. Pushing more to A-.
So what you're really saying is that our conference was an A.
Yeah.
Because we didn't give any other of the conferences two criterias, and if you're going to give them an A+ on one side and then a B+ on the other side, it averages out to a flat A.
Yeah.
So you should have just given them the A.
I know. No, the thing is, the reason I gave them two different grades is because all the other conferences, I didn't feel they didn't. I feel like they didn't have the presentation that Microsoft did. Like, they just said, "Bro, we have games. Watch them. If you like them, buy them. If not, don't." Microsoft, I don't know, really felt like it was, I don't know, the presentation just felt much more put together. Like, they actually genuinely wanted to be there and show games. That's kind of why I gave them two different scores. But yeah, I understand. I should have averaged it.
No,
I understand.
The reason why I say that is because, like, the PC gaming show was a presentation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Whole,
actually, yeah. Think about it now. Yeah.
It had like a whole skit in the background and stuff, but like it was a bad presentation. Like,
exactly. I'm giving that shit an F. I'm not gonna lie to you. This shit was corny.
Yeah, like it was. They had memes going on, but they were bad memes. But they still like tried a thing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So like at the end of the day, overall, their presentation was an A. It sounds like is what you're giving them.
Yeah, I'll give them an A. I'll say A flat.
And do you think that Microsoft was the best the best presentation at E3?
Yeah, I would say they were the best presentation at E3. Nintendo was a very, 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 very close second. Very close second.
I wouldn't be mad with either of those two answers.
Mm-hmm. What would you give it?
Like I said, I would give Nintendo the top spot, and because I gave them an A, I'd give Microsoft probably an A-.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft is doing a lot of things right, and I think that they set themselves up to be in a position like this. Like, they put themselves in a really unique position by introducing Game Pass before, like, they were the pioneers of a program like Game Pass, and other game companies have no faith in something like that. They don't think it's going to work. But look at how many games that you mentioned that you were like, this is coming to Game Pass, so I'm probably going to try it, even though I wasn't that interested in it. So it creates interest and investment for intellectual properties. It gets people that first foot in the door to play a game. So sure, you miss out on the like big massive sales of like first week, but if no one's interested in the game, then you're not going to get that anyways.
That's true.
So I think that it showed that Microsoft put themselves in a very unique position, and we've been waiting for a long time for Microsoft to come out here and start showing us games, because Microsoft has been acquiring studios left, right, and center and not doing anything with them. So this was a really good first opportunity for them to show us what they've been doing with those acquisitions that they spent so much money on. Solid A.
Yeah, one thing I do like about Game Pass, the thing about Game Pass is when the whole idea came out, everyone was really slandering it. I feel like Microsoft was really the martyr for this whole what would you call it, Netflix gaming experience. I guess that's the best way to put it. They really did get slandered for it, but they gave, I believe at one point they gave everyone Game Pass for like $1. You could try Game Pass for $1 for like, what was it, a month or something like that. And I got it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I really did like it. I liked it and I kept it. The price kept going.
It's like the future of digital gaming, because like everybody's talking about how digital games are the future, digital games are the next wave, but I mean, like, at that point, you might as well pay a subscription service and have every digital game that you can just pick whatever you want to play, rather than buying games digitally for $80-$90 a pop.
Yeah. And one thing I really do like that Microsoft is doing is they're putting their big games on Game Pass, because one complaint that people used to have about Game Pass before is it was just game fodder. It was a lot of indie games. It was a lot of filler and indie games that no one really cared about. But there was always a few really good games, and that's why I kept it. But now seeing the new and improved Game Pass lineup, I really do feel like there's going to be a shift in the culture in terms of digital game subscriptions. Like, I don't know if anyone else will try to mimic this. I feel like they won't, because they just want those pure hard sales, because there is something to that. People do really love the pure numbers, but Microsoft, I feel like they were really ahead of the curb. They were really ahead of the curb, and they're doing something right. A lot of really good games that are coming to Game Pass day one. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to what Microsoft has for the next 2 to 3 years. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think that it's important to just stay optimistic, and I think that Game Pass makes it easy to stay optimistic, because you know that you can get an opportunity to try almost everything. With like, it's a very low risk investment to try something on Game Pass. You're already paying for the subscription.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck it, might as well just shoot my shot and see what happens with this game that I'm interested in. I'm pretty sure, like, leading up to it, they recently had all the Kingdom Hearts games on Game Pass until just recently. Like, they just came off the 2 HD collections.
Yeah.
And that was like a really good way to get people into Kingdom Hearts, and it's a very confusing franchise to jump into.
That's the only thing about Game Pass, though, is that the games rotate out. Like the same problem that Netflix has, how the movies rotate out, the games rotate out, which is it kind of sucks, But
it was cool when there was no competition. Like for Netflix, it was cool when there was no competition because like Netflix was the only place that you were going to be streaming these things on. So they had cheaper rates for licenses, so they could maintain licenses for longer. But now they're like competing with everybody else. So
yeah, they got like Hulu and all those other pieces. So, but yeah, I mean, Microsoft will miss out on some of the pure sales, but I mean, some of these games will have DLC and microtransactions, so it'll kind of give it like the Fortnite effect. You're in the game for $0, so I mean, what's $10 to buy a skin? What's $5 to buy a weapon? You know what I'm saying? So I really do feel like some games will benefit from this that previously would not have gotten sales or microtransaction revenue. But that's where I'll leave it on Game Pass. That's where I'll leave it just in general on Microsoft, actually.
And with that being said, unless you have any other extra thoughts on like the Microsoft show, that's it for the conferences that we had on our show notes to talk about. We berated some of the other conferences, like I mentioned earlier, but unless you want to say anything else about Microsoft, it's about time to move on to our E3 final thoughts.
Shredders. Forgot to talk about that game. Shredders. That game looks cool. It kind of reminds you of Skate, like a Skate version, a snowboarding version of Skate. So I'm gonna be checking for that too. Checking for it.
Yeah, there were a couple things that I didn't bring up, like Slime Rancher 2, Slime Rancher, right? So yeah, that's kind of classic. Age of Empires 4, again, kind of classic. Like these have niche audiences for them, so people are going to be interested in those things as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm just excited for the next 2 to 3 years when it comes to gaming, just to like see how these projects unfold.
True. E3 final thoughts though. Final thoughts on E3 in general. I mean, there was a lot of bullshit, but there were some gems sprinkled in. And I mean, I would say like maybe 80% of this whole event was you want to say it? I'll say it. A waste of time. A lot of it was a waste of time. But yeah, as I
Keep
said,
it a buck. Tell them how you really feel.
Yeah, as I said, sprinkled in, we did get some really interesting games and some ones that I am really checking for. This kind of makes me think where Sony is and when we're gonna get their state of play, because we know we're gonna get a state of play from Sony, but it's just when. You know, that's the only thing really.
They made an announcement shortly after E3 ended talking about it, but I am gonna have to double back and go see what they said on that statement. But we got one coming soon.
Yeah, I would imagine they don't want to let their competition get so many good looks, and they're just out there, you know, not getting nothing. I would imagine they wouldn't want that. But
you would think so, but then you remember it's Sony and they moved to the drum of their own beat, just like Nintendo. I don't know what it is about these Japanese companies and ignoring their competition, or like not matching, like not responding to the competition when they do something to change the landscape. It's really weird.
Yeah. Sony. What I'm starting to realize about Sony, well, I've kind of always known it, but now it's just like sticking out even more. Sony is that one kid that sits in the back of the class by themselves, but they low-key like the smartest kid in the class. You know what I'm saying? Like they sit by themselves, head down, but they low-key the smartest kid in the class. So yeah, you know, don't underestimate Sony not being at E3. I feel like we will get something really good shown from them, but it's just when they want to come out on their own time.
Yeah, they're gonna move to the beat of their own drum.
Yeah. What are your final thoughts about E3, Enigma?
This year was very unique because with the whole COVID pandemic and gaming, like game studios having to work remotely, it's just been very difficult for projects to get finished when they were supposed to be. Like everything's pretty much fallen off the schedule. So in that regard, I can give them a little bit of a bly that this E3 was pretty god awful. But even despite all of those factors, this E3 was still a letdown. There was a significant lack of AAA titles. We had literal wastes of time, like the Capcom and Bandai Namco presentations, where they literally showed maybe one game, and the Take-Two Interactive, which was an hour and a half of Zoom call.
Ridiculous.
And it just goes to show that E3 isn't what it used to be. When we were growing up, E3 was the event that you looked forward to every year for all the big game announcements. But now things get leaked throughout the year, things get dropped and announced, and E3 is just not the end-all be-all it used to be.
You know,
so I think that E3 is probably DOA, to be honest. I think it's going to die within the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I don't know if you used to do this, but like back when I was in like middle school, like when they released the schedule of like which companies would be going what day, bro, I would deadass act like I was sick that day just so I could watch it. Because like E3 used to be on at like 1 o'clock in the 1 p.m. 12:30, and it's like you're in school, you're in class, so it's like I would deadass just like act like I was sick and just stay home that day. Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
that's how big it was. But now it's just like I'll catch it if it's on. I'll watch the highlights.
I'll catch it later. I'll watch the recap.
Yeah, I remember the first time they showed, what was it, Modern Warfare 3? Do you remember that? And it was like the shootout. It was like a shootout on Wall Street or some shit like that.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. That was nuts,
bro. I'm telling, like they just don't. E3 is not the same. Like
E3
I said,
really even like I said earlier when we were talking about the Ubisoft presentation and the Just Dance thing, like they really went from having Usher back in like 2015, 2016 to budget Lil Nas X. Like you guys couldn't even get actual Lil Nas X. You guys got discount Lil Nas X. Man, I'm pretty sure he had his bald fade dyed pink. I'm like 99% sure.
Ew. sound like some Hubba Bubba. Like what?
Yeah, bro. It looked like a strip of gum. I'm not even gonna lie, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I think that E3 is a dying medium, and people are losing interest in it. They're like quickly. It's sinking like a rock. So they're either gonna need to do something to step up to reinvigorate people's interest in it. Whether that be, incentivize gaming companies to come back to E3 or whatever. Because like there's also the lack of a show floor, right? Like there was no show floor this year because no one went there physically. It was all virtual and online. Yeah. But typically you have the show floor where people can walk around, talk to developers, try games, and mingle. So like a lot of those aspects were missing this year. So I think we'll have a better indication of how E3 is faring next year.
E3 is just kind of falling off a cliff. Not really no life in it. I say within next 4 or 5 years, we're really just gonna see, because Sony already set the precedent. They said, bro, we got state of play, we got our own stuff, we can just live stream it, and it's way easier to control too, because it's just us.
Yeah, Nintendo's been doing that for a minute too, with their directs.
Yep, Nintendo has their Treehouse Direct and stuff like that. It's only a matter of time when Microsoft pulls out. We're probably going to start to see other publishers pull out, and at that point, everyone just does their own thing and we watch what we watch, and no more E3. I see it coming. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about E3. It was just a letdown. I honestly didn't even think the show was going to be this long. But
no, we definitely talked for a really long time.
Yeah, that's all I really have to say. Any final thoughts, Enigma? Anything else besides what you said?
No, that's really it. I think that E3 is almost DOA, and we're gonna have to wait until next year to kind of get a better picture of how interested people are. And that also depends on how many actually interesting games that they have next year. But no, I think you covered everything that I really had to say. So with that, I think I'm just gonna say thank you to all of our listeners for coming and checking out this special E3 episode, because I know this was atypical to our normal programming.
Yeah, we just had to throw this out there because we thought E3 was going to be an event. We thought it was going to be something we had to pop out for, but I guess we were wrong. Yeah, hopefully you guys liked what you heard though. Go ahead, don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe. Tell us how you like E3, what your thoughts were, what your favorite moments were. Shout out to someone actually commented on the last Ramehs radio. They said we should start putting chapters in. So I am actually going to be taking your advice. I'm going to be making chapters for every Ramehs radio on from here. I don't remember his name, but shout out to you. Yeah. Nothing more really to say about this, bro. Twitch.tv.
Let us know in the comments if you have a favorite game that you saw at E3 that you're most anticipated for.
Yeah, true. Tell us what your favorite game was, what the worst game you think was. Twitch.tv/it's Ramehs. Everything is It's Ramehs. Go ahead, follow Enigma at his handles. They will all be down there below.
/UndeadEnigma 9. You already know.
Yeah, go ahead, shout your stuff up. Shout your stuff out, bro. Why can I not talk today?
It's one of those nights.
But yeah, podcast people, podcast universe. That is it for Ramehs Radio, the E3 special. Checking in, checking out. Peace.